Hello YouTube and welcome to this insider interview. Today we're talking with I'd say the developer team of the Vikingr mod. Unfortunately we don't have, we planned to talk with 3 people, but we only have 2 guys, but whatever, we'll get the gist of it, I guess. I'm GamerDudester, and today we have with us Davey and Rathos. And if you guys can go ahead and talk a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah, sure. I'm Davey. I did a lot of the scripting, or I do a lot of the scripting, some map level design, and sound editing for the Vikingr module.
Hey, I'm Rathos. I'm the leader of this mod. I do textures, models, and the main lookup mod.
He decides what goes
I
and
guess
what doesn't.
He has the last call. I guess the first thing that I really wanna say is thank you guys for being here. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for a really good mod. I mean, 4 factions, multiplayer only. For a scale like that, you guys have set new standards, really. We read in your features list a bunch of stuff that, for me, is wow. You know, I want to play that just to experience that kind of thing. But upon playing a little bit more, I found out that there are some features that are missing from your list, but we'll get there in due time. Let's start with the actual features that you guys mentioned. If I could just read here, you have the raid game mode, where attackers try to torch and burn target houses and pick up loot. We have longboat battles, lots of new equipment, obviously. Beautiful maps, and trust me, they're very beautiful maps, and sounds that will get you into the right atmosphere. The troop limiter, which is very interesting, we'll talk a little bit more about that. You remove the aiming reticle, I guess for balancing purposes, so you have fewer arrows now as well, and they deal a little bit more damage. You have decapitation, which some people used to say that it was an impossible feat and that you couldn't do it. And then we have a banner system, where you get to heal and motivate teammates, your horns, crouching, and the taunts, which are a little bit, a nice aesthetic feel. What can you guys tell me about the raid game mode to start out with?
Yes, that was something we came up with pretty late in development. I had pretty recently joined the team and done some finishing touches on the taunting and crouching scripts, etc. And then we suddenly started talking about having unique game modes for the mod, since we only had the native stuff in. And I did some research. This is my first go at modding Mount and Blade using the module system. I had a bit of a look around, checked out the Fight and Destroy mode that native has. Not many people play that, but it's a really good game mode. And I did some experimenting and came up with burnable houses that you had to use a torch to destroy. And it kind of went on from there. Now we got 4 houses, you burn them. When all the houses have been burned, you can retrieve loot, grab loot and take it back to your boat or whatever to win a round.
I mean, it's definitely very fun to be on that, either on the boat, or even if you're a defender and waiting for them to play that second map and taunting them as they come to you. That's pretty cool. I'm guessing not much can be said about the longboat battle, where it's just where the 2 ships meet. I guess the taunt thing really fits in with that kind of thing, where everybody's taunting and shouting right before the 2 ships collide. What can you tell me about the equipment? Where did you get your inspiration? How historical are you guys? Is it oh wow, the berserker needs to be naked, or did you guys actually go in depth with it?
Well, we all know that the berserker is very historically, actually, but well, we needed some special troop for them, and they just popped up there.
Man, I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the Viking faction wouldn't be the same without the Berserker.
What about, you know, things like shields and armors and stuff like that?
The shields, they are based after a shield that was found in a burial in Norway. And the rest, chainmail, it was very popular at that age, of course by the people who had money.
It was in fashion.
Alright, okay.
Actually, Rathos, you told me before, aren't the shields based pretty much on the exact measurements of that shield or other shields?
Yes.
So they were in fact that size in real life.
Alright. Well, speaking about realistic shields, what can you tell us about how the shields function in the mod? Because I've noticed that some of the shield, like the shield, I guess the collision mesh for it is more in tone with the actual shield shape. What happened there?
Ah, yes. We had a discussion and talked about how we always thought it was ridiculous how all the shields in native multiplayer have these huge force fields. So if you just hold a tiny shield in front of you, nothing can hit you unless it's at the tip of your toe or something. So we did some experimenting. Removed the shield skill from all the multiplayer troops. They don't have any shield skill at all. Because the shield skill on the characters actually increased the coverage of the shield to outside. I think it was their way of making it seem like a more skilled guy could move his shield and grab arrows before they actually hit his body with the shield, you know. So we tried removing that, and it turned out to work pretty well, actually.
Definitely, yeah.
You can actually shoot people,
shoot
body parts that you can see. This not shielded.
Yeah, I noticed that. That is really it adds a new element for me, because you know, now when you actually crouch, you do get more protection because your body's covered, whereas when you're standing or when you're running from the side, the arrow will hit you.
Yes. I think it was partly. I think it was part of the thing about making all weapons seem more dangerous. For example, we've upped the damage on pretty much all projectiles. So now you actually feel scared when being shot at by an archer or being thrown, getting javelins or throwing spears flying past you. Because now they can actually touch you even if you have a shield.
Definitely. And I guess that links really nicely with how you guys removed the aiming reticle. More damage, less accuracy, more balance, I guess. Straightforward, makes sense. Another thing, the troop limiter. What determines? Obviously, from experimentation, I've noticed that you can only have one chieftain or one earl or one count. But what, in terms of how many archers or how many troops? How did you guys decide on that?
Yeah, how did we?
Well, it started out with a small discussion of archer spam and such.
Yes, we felt we needed some way of not making the Normans all go cav, or not making the Rus all go archers or something like that, because it just wouldn't fit the time era how they fought back then. So what we did, we asked around a little bit, and we recruited some help from a guy on the forums, Jerka, a Dutch guy. He's been very helpful. He's actually made that script for us and other people on the forums, of course. But I think we were the first to have it implemented. When I say
one of my
recruited,
favorite additions, yeah.
Yeah, when we say recruited, we actually went down there on a raid and captured him and made him do our slave work for us, but that's technicalities.
In true Viking fashion.
yes.
That's nice. That's nice. Not much to talk about on the main feature list here. The horns are pretty self-explanatory. The crouching is pretty self-explanatory. The taunts are pretty self-explanatory. But an interesting thing, or I'd say a new thing, decapitation. How did you get that to work? And like what condition? Because I've never had, the honor of decapitating someone yet. I've been playing a lot, but I still haven't managed to make it work. But it happens to like get done to me more. So I'm wondering what are the requirements for me, cutting someone's heads off? How does it work?
I can tell you because I have the script right in front of me here. Let's see here. Decapitation started out, it was actually pretty much impossible up until the latest patch, which you need to run Vikingr properly. Because they implemented a new trigger that checks when someone is hit, and using that I made a script that simply does things like check where the hit was, how much damage it did. Yeah, so I'll tell you the calculation formula. Let's see here. Yes, it starts out like this. It checks the height of the hit. It has to be about from the bottom of the neck up to the bottom of the nose. That's about the area where you need to hit with a weapon for it to be passed on and checked if it actually did decapitate the guy. It's also been worked a bit, so it should actually work, or it does work. We tested it both when you're crouching and when you're mounted on a horse. So you can actually decapitate someone riding past you with a horse.
I've yet to see that. I guess we'll see that in the Hastings event. I guess we'll see that in the Hastings event, hopefully.
Yeah. Anyway, when the server is sure that your hit was within that area, it runs a damage check. Let's see here. It checks. You have to do at least 40 damage, a minimum of 40 damage to do it. You also have to take the enemy down to minus 25 health points for it to pass. So even if you do 60 damage with a blow to the head, if the enemy had 50 HP, he's not gonna lose his head because he only got minus 25 after he died. Or sorry, minus 10. Yep. So when all these conditions are met, height, damage, and more minus 25 HP or less, it does chance calculation. This is getting more and more advanced, but it's basically it takes the damage,
we get it.
It in 4, and then does a randomizer. It check that's the percentage chance of you decapitate them, and if it passes, pop, his head comes flying off, and there's a fountain of blood.
Fountain of blood is always nice. I guess where we went with this is that it's not set in stone. It could happen, it doesn't happen, and it's I guess it's a relatively rare thing to happen. It wouldn't, like, for me playing, it wasn't like, oh, there goes the head again. It was a rare event where certain conditions need to be met, and I think that's good. A little bit on the banner, I guess. You have some radius to it, where you start to heal teammates. I guess that's a little bit heal teammates and do a little bit more damage, as you guys said in your description. So that's pretty self-explanatory. But I also wanted to talk about certain features that are not in your list. Things like the water, for example. What is it with the water? Like, why does the water kill you now, and why what are the could you fall in the water and survive somehow? What can you do?
What you can do is the script actually runs every 2 seconds when it checks if the player's under the water or not. So if you time your jump very nicely, you can actually take a breath of air If you have your head above the water and then fall down again, and you still have 4 seconds to move, and then you have to do it again.
I thought that was an interesting feature. You know, if you fall with your horse on the Battle on Ice map, the real Battle on Ice, if you fall with your horse in the water, you're dead. Which is pretty realistic, seeing that you're probably going to be wearing armor and heavy stuff in cold water. I just thought that was a nice thing. What other features do you guys have that are not included here? Talk about the raid game, the longbow. I'm guessing that is it for now.
Well, we got end of the round music. That's gonna be more common in the next version. It's only in raid. In some, there's also a bug that if you're dead, it doesn't play. That's gonna be fixed in version 71.
For sure, definitely.
And one of the features, I don't know, it's probably up there among the other features, but we've done a total rebalance of how the combat works. You know, HP on horses, archery, pretty much every class of weapon.
Yeah, I noticed that horses tend to die a lot quicker when they do get hit now. 2 arrows and the horse is down, or sometimes well-positioned arrow to the head can take the horse down.
Yep.
Okay, so this brings us to my final point before we talk about the future, which is experienced people who played mods before can tell that you've used polished landscapes, but for someone like me, it's polished landscapes, but the fog, the particle effect, the lighting, it's all different. What did you guys do there? Where did your inspirations come from? What sort of scenes did you guys make? Did you create any sort of new scene or any sort of you know, new models for your maps? What can you tell us about that?
Well, most of the models we use are the ones that are included in the polished landscapes mod that we pack that we use in our mod. They make up pretty much all of the trees you see in the maps, and they set a very nice atmosphere together with the fog effects and lighting effects, which some of our modders have. Some of the guys on the team have done. They go together very nicely to make a nice Nordic climate.
Definitely. Fortunately we have Irikor, who has just joined us. He's the 3rd member we started talking about at the beginning of the interview. And Irikor, can you go ahead and give a little introduction about yourself and what you do in the mod?
Well, I live in England, and generally just get onto the maps. Whenever I load at the map editor, the area of focus on my mind is providing a realistic landscape. Too many times in native we would play the same 8 maps over and over and over again. They were always the same, random planes and so on and so forth. Really no better because they never were actually random planes. It's more like random Himalayas or random Pyrenees, something like that. So generally every time I load at the map editor, the aim for me is to provide at least a realistic and enjoyable landscape to fight in, because although we can't do much with the game mechanics beyond tweaking and editing, we can't change the core game. What we can do is at least change the environment the player is fighting in, and I think personally changing the sounds and the landscapes and the environment sounds is the biggest step forward in this mod, for me anyway.
Yeah, the ambience does a lot.
Indeed, the ambience, you're running in the forest and you're hearing birds and shouts, and it's like at one point I started believing that there was, like, because it was a Friday night yesterday and I was sitting down in my room, and people get drunk on the weekend, right? So at one point I actually was thinking somebody outside was actually screaming or something, because it does happen eventually. You have some random people walking near my dorm and shouting some random stuff, so I muted the game a little bit. I was like, wait, it's quiet. Yeah. So definitely step forward, that's for sure. Can you tell us a little bit about you know, how are you looking to use the weather? You know, because it seems that the weather has been a key feature for the maps. It plays a very, very big part of the sort of atmosphere you guys are talking about. But what things did you add to the weather that are different than native? What improvements have you made?
Well, actually the weather system is yeah, it's actually a tweaked native one with some different textures and stuff. Native actually has these both the snowstorm and the rain in the same player, but it hasn't been very supportive of it in multiplayer. We got our hands on some code. I'm not quite sure where. Our hands joined the team back then.
Yoshiboy.
Yes, Yoshiboy provided it from Tailwords forums. And we tweaked it and tested, and we got it looking pretty damn good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's definitely looking great.
Yeah, it just generally ties into the whole ambience, and it's something that I guess we've always had in mind. It certainly adds to the mod.
What can you tell us about the lighting and the fog and that?
I think we're missing one team member who could tell you a lot about that. Didn't Gintos do much of that, Ruffles? Lighting skyboxes.
Yes, of course. He is not here at the moment, so...
Oh, that's
but
unfortunate.
What I can tell you is that we did a lot of tweaking, making it look very like a Norse environment, something up north. If you look at the native skybox in multiplayer, it's just a pretty much bright blue sky with a sun at the top. All of our maps have the sun further down, like it is. It doesn't get very far even during the summer up in the sky, so we have much longer shadows, for example.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things that's one of the things that actually captured my my attention. How beautiful the shadows were and stuff like that. I guess that concludes the current release, the first release. What are your plans for the future, Rathos? What are you looking what are you looking to accomplish further ahead?
Well, we of course want to polish off all factions, giving them more unique equipment to choose from, and maybe even some more factions.
Some more factions? What can you give us a little bit of a sneak preview of tell us a little bit about we've already seen that there's a Byzantine Empire that's kind of broken. But other than that, is there any other plans? Are we gonna see something different?
We're still in the discussion state of what we're actually gonna do.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Exactly. But Byzantine Faction, yes, perhaps I think we're definitely gonna have some kind of Byzantines in the mod in the future. Whether that be a faction or a elite class for another faction or something like that.
Okay, alright. I'm guessing now the team is still working on bugs, so no real work has been done on any future things. There are obviously plans from hearing you guys talk, but actual work. Well, I guess that really concludes this interview. Thank you guys again for being here. Thanks for the great mod, and I'll definitely be keeping up with your progress, and hopefully I can make some more videos and keep the viewers up to date with any new stuff. So yeah, thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for doing the interview.
Well, all I can say is that I sincerely hope that people give the mod a chance, that they sit through the rough patch that is inevitably going to become at the beginning of a mod release, and that they bear with us whilst we tackle the problems and continue to add as many new features and textures, models, armors, whatnot to the mod. It's we've been with this mod for the past 8-9 months now privately, and we intend to continue it on publicly until, I guess, Tale Worlds is no more. So have fun and keep in touch if you.
Yes.
Alright. Alright, for all you viewers, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe, comment, and rate. More videos from Vikingr and other Mount & Blade Warband related videos to come. Thanks for watching.